Hello and how's it going, Elder Scrolls Nation? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest Bethesda Games Studios news. The news we're talking about today is Pete Hines was interviewed on November 4th by Gamespot, and they talked about a lot of interesting stuff. Everything from how long that Bethesda wants Fallout 76 to last, and they responded to a lot of the community questions and theories about why Fallout 76 was created, even going back to mentioning the Save Player 1 campaign that Bethesda did before even announcing Fallout 76. Now, this interview was posted on November 4th, but GameSpot didn't say anything about why this interview was taking place, where it was taking place, or anything like that. My guess is it maybe has something to do with PAX. Maybe this interview was at PAX and they just kept it to post now. I'm not actually certain, but I'll leave a link for the entire interview down in the description below so you can read it for yourself, but I'll go over most of the major information in this video. Now, when asked about how long that Bethesda wants Fallout 76 to last for, Pete Hines doubled down on what he said in the previous video about saying that he doesn't really have an answer to that. He kind of wants it to go on basically forever, and he goes on to say that WoW probably wasn't planning to just last for 10 years, meaning World of Warcraft has a long lifespan right now, and he says that they doubt that they want the lifespan to end anytime soon. So that's how Bethesda sees Fallout 76. He kind of says that they're just gonna keep giving it content, keep maintaining the servers, and keep operating Fallout 76 until essentially people stop playing. But he does say again, and this is interesting, his words exactly right here at the end of the paragraph says that he aims for Fallout 76 to be never ending, which is crazy to think about. Now, this could mean anything. I highly doubt it means that Bethesda Game Studios will keep giving content to Fallout 76 forever. They likely probably will, maybe even for 10 plus years, but eventually, even if they do stop giving Fallout 76 content, there is a good chance that Bethesda will still maintain legacy servers, because at this point Fallout 76 will probably be an old game, but even if there are people still playing it or interested in it, and you know people would complain if they stopped having the server support, so they would have legacy servers for people to play the game even though they wouldn't give any content. That could be what Pete Hines is talking about in this interview, but I think it's probably a mix of both. Bethesda likely will keep giving Fallout 76 consistent updates, content, DLCs, maybe even expansions, and they'll keep putting patches out, maintaining the servers as long as it has a healthy playing population. Now, what does this mean for future Bethesda games? If they're gonna give so much focus to Fallout 76 over a long period of time, could that take away from the single-player Bethesda games that we all love and know? No, it won't! Don't start yelling really loud, because this is actually what I thought too, but it won't, because Bethesda has been expanding a lot lately, and one of Bethesda Game Studios' new studios will focus primarily on Fallout 76, meaning nothing is being taken away from future Bethesda Game Studios single-player games, because a new studio was added, and that studio is working on Fallout 76's future content, so therefore nothing is being taken away from the people that work on single-player Bethesda games. Pete Hines goes on to say we're gonna keep it on as long as people keep playing it, and it shows no sign of slowing down. Once we get to private servers, or whatever happens in the years following, I don't know. Maybe there's a point where it won't matter anymore, but this is a massive franchise and a massive undertaking, and our commitment to it is never ending, and that continues on an ongoing basis. There he goes again with never ending, so that pretty much sums it up. Bethesda Game Studios has a long lifespan in mind for Fallout 76, which is awesome, and again, I specify there is nothing being taken away from the single-player RPG games because of their new studios. And here he goes on to say even more, the forever word again. I see a plan for this game for years and years and years, so talking about when it's not up is kind of irrelevant. I have nothing to look at that says it's not going to be up forever. So yeah, that sums it up. Forever Fallout 76. We're gonna have a massive online Fallout game with consistent content for a long time that won't take away from any of the single-player games. I keep saying this because I know this is a big deal to a lot of people. It was to me until I looked at the big picture and dug into this. Chill out. This is awesome. This means we're gonna have consistent Bethesda Game Studios content probably on the monthly for years, as well as all the single-player games, as well as all these new mobile games. It's a Bethesda extravaganza, and if you love Bethesda Game Studios, then you shouldn't complain about any of this, but I will give it to you if you are worried about the multiplayer aspect. Just wait until Starfield. If Starfield wins you over, then just please please chill out and let's stop all this civil war amongst Bethesda Game Studios fans. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. He goes on to kind of call out the community and kind of me a little bit, because I've said this when they initially launched Fallout 76 that I thought it was interesting, and so did a lot of other people and other fans, that Bethesda was doing a online game after in December of 2017 doing the hashtag Save Player 1 campaign. A lot of games seem to be trying to put multiplayer in back then. Dragon Age forced multiplayer in when a lot of people may not have necessarily wanted it. And then there are a lot of other examples, and with multiplayer comes microtransactions, which everyone pretty much hates. So naturally, people were freaked out, and when Bethesda said hashtag Save Player 1, when they put up this awesome video with Linda Carter, who was Wonder Woman, and they said that they're gonna preserve single-player games forever, people thought that Bethesda was doubling down on not doing multiplayer, pretty much ever. And then when Fallout 76 happened, I can understand how people felt a little betrayed. But Pete Hines says that their biggest games are focused on single-player, and in fact, as a developer, that is what they believe in. They still believe in single-player games, but they want to try new things. And no, they're not forcing multiplayer in there. They're not forcing it because it's financially a money pit. They're not forcing it because the corporate part of Bethesda is forcing the developers and Todd Howard to make all these games in their corporate sweatshop with all these empty money bags sitting around as they yell at Todd Howard and everyone else to hurry up. That's not what's going on. Pete Hines, in fact, goes on to say that it's specifically not Bethesda corporate. They give the development studios no mandate about what they should make next. He says some people believe Fallout 76's new online direction was the result of Bethesda chasing money, but Pete Hines again says that's not true. It was entirely Bethesda Game Studios' decision, and that was from the start. They wanted to make Fallout 76 an online game from the drawing board, from the very beginning, and in fact, it's the lack of corporate control over the developers that gave Fallout 76 its birth to begin with. Which I love this, actually. I like the developers getting to be the artists that they are, because that is what game development is. It's creating art, and if you force a painter to keep painting like the same flower pot for the rest of their life, they're eventually probably gonna hate painting and they're not gonna do very well anymore. Or at least there's not gonna be any soul to it. Pete Hines goes on to say it's down to the developers and the kinds of experiences they want to create that really drive what games they make. They don't say that a certain percent of their games have to have a heavy emphasis on single player and then another smaller percentage on multiplayer. He says that's silly and kinda stupid. What does Arcane Studios want to make next? What does Bethesda Game Studios want to make next? Let's focus on these things, and if people get excited, then they feel that everyone else eventually will as well, or at least they will when they get these games in their hands and they see what Bethesda's direction and focus was. Now that is all of the main stuff in this interview. As you can see, Bethesda and Pete Hines says that Fallout 76 is set to go on pretty much as long as the community keeps playing it. They're gonna keep giving it a lot of content, and Elder Scrolls Online is an interesting comparison because at first it didn't do too well, but now it has a pretty healthy player base that keeps growing and they keep giving it content. I expect Fallout 76 to be something like that, and on top of that, we get a pretty good direction as to how the Bethesda corporate does stuff. They let the developers make the games they want to make, and it's actually this creative freedom that gave birth to Fallout 76, which we should always value, creative freedom when it comes to game developers, because EA is the exact opposite of that. And as always, I want to know what you have to say about all of this. Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and may be featured in a future video, don't forget to subscribe to stay in the know when it comes to Bethesda Game Studios news. Follow me on Twitter for the latest channel updates and random shit about me. Check me out on Twitch, where I soon will be streaming again. I am a Twitch affiliate over there. Come over to the channel Discord chat room, where there is always a conversation taking place, and follow me on Patreon for unique and awesome channel awards. And if you haven't pre-ordered Fallout 76 yet, or if you want to get new digital game keys or software on the cheap, then head over to https://www.scdkey.com/sk/Skullzi. Use the link on the screen. If you use this link specifically, even if you don't buy anything, you help the channel. The link is down in the description below. Go ahead and click that, and if you buy anything, use coupon code SKFG. That way, they know Skullzi sent you, and you can get a little bit of that something savings. Fallout 76 should only be like $45 over there, so go ahead and get it when you can. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Pete Hines kicks down my door and interviews me about trademarks. Oh shit.
Bye, have a great time.